Thank you so much for taking the time to meet up with us for a little interview about leadership.
Cool.
So to get started, to warm up a little bit, I'm inviting you to take a moment to maybe what comes up for you when you're thinking about leadership philosophy. What is that for you? What comes up for you? What principles? What leading mantras? What is that when you're thinking of leadership philosophy that comes up for you?
Yeah, this is a great question. Thanks, Sabrina. Yeah, so as a leader, I want to help individuals and teams reach their full potential. So I believe the great leaders that I've known, they've known when to step in, providing guidance, and when to step back. And I believe that the leader is accountable for creating the right conditions for that success, because the team will learn what the leader will tolerate and what they won't, and they'll learn from that. So trust, collaboration, and accountability are key as well to that. I think I've been in teams where the leader hasn't quite been right, and you get those dysfunctions coming through. So I've tried to learn from others and learn from some of the great leaders that I've worked with. For the principles, then my number one is empathy, putting yourself in people's place, understanding their emotions, integrity. So this is around doing the right thing, even when no one's looking. My mum taught me that many years ago. She said, when you're going to be naughty, when you're going to be a naughty boy, always think, would your mum be happy with you doing this? So that's how I describe integrity. And my final one is forgiveness, and that's of self and others, because we're all human. We all have our demons. You don't know what people are going through. So yeah, move on. When things go wrong, move on quickly.
So much in there that I have follow-up questions on. Maybe, how about that? What image comes up for you? What metaphor comes up for you when you're thinking about your leadership style?
Yeah, so I guess my metaphor is around looking out for the team, being there for the team, yeah, and just being there, being present, and showing up as yourself and being authentic.
It's interesting because one of the things that I grapple with a lot is how much attention am I paying as a leader to the team, like the whole group of people and their interactions with each other or their conflicts, and how much attention should I be paying to individuals? And it came up for me actually today in a meeting. There was like one person who was just, brilliant guy, right? But the delivery style doesn't work in his favor. And so, he's really super enthusiastic about the topic, but he has a hard time kind of letting go of his idea and opening up that collaborating door. And so I know I'm being long-winded about this, and Sabrina, you can edit this part as much as you can. But coming out of that meeting, I was like, I need to do a workshop with the team on how we, understand each other's ideas and how we bounce ideas off each other and how we can agree or how we disagree, right? I thought I need to do a team workshop. And then I had lunch. Sorry, I have to let my dog in. Then I had lunch and I thought, no, wait a minute. In this group of people, there's 8 people. One of them is struggling, but the other 7, it's totally fine. And so should I subject the whole group of 8 people to a workshop, a la Mel, which is going to be about, the stuff that I love, like communication and supporting each other? Or should I just do a session with this one person? I think 5 years ago, I would have said, I'm going to subject the whole team to this. And now I'm thinking, no, I'm going to do a focus session with this one person and just give them that feedback. But so I'm curious to hear from you, Iain, like, when you're working with teams, yes, it's about getting a whole team working well together and in sync. But then, each individual, like you said, everyone has their own history and their own stories. So how do we do that? How do we balance our time and our attention between the group and that group dynamic, or the individual and where they need to grow?
I think people appreciate personal advice and pointers, and they like, and in my experience, people like to get feedback from their manager. They don't like managers who just say things are great, carry on what you're doing all the time, because you can't work with that. So I think people enjoy that. So generally, if it's a problem with one of the people on the team, what I'll do is I'll do that on a one-to-one basis. But you have to be tactful. You have to know how to deliver that message, and also you have to have had a bit of trust with that individual beforehand as well. You can't. I don't think in the past I've gone straight in and tried to give feedback. You need to build up a little bit of trust, and know that individual. Generally, I would go in and say something I've noticed, or this happened. What's your take on this? Could we learn from something there? And generally, I found that quite successful, quite a good strategy, rather than trying to solve everybody's problems in a big group dynamic.
I think I agree with you totally. Sabrina.
The trust. When we're thinking about psychological safety, or like I know what Amy Anderson does, the work she's sharing with us on how to build that right environment, or other scholars that are speaking about how to create trust depending on the culture where you're from, what are the differences, how to have people collaborate. If we look at different concepts like design thinking or agile framework, what is it for you? How do you build trust? How do you do that?
I think a lot of it's to do with showing vulnerability, showing you're human. If you have made a mistake and you reflected on it, I think acknowledging that you've made mistakes. Generally, I think just doing the right thing with people as well, being consistent. People can see how you turn up every day, and if you're all over the place, or you're inconsistent, or you're giving conflicting messages, that people get confused, and that's not a good environment to build trust. So those are I guess I just try and do right by people, really.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Iain. I think, one of the things that I lean on a lot is just a natural curiosity, and giving people space to be themselves too. Like, and I mean, how do you say it? Like, is there a trust formula? I wonder, is there a formula for trust? Because the immediate thing I think of is, like you said, be consistent. So you're not making people guess like which mail is turning up today.
Yeah.
And I also think it's do what you say you're going to do. Like if I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make sure I do it. And if I don't, then I'm going to give you enough time to let you know I'm not. But that is so important, right? Absolutely. And then I think the thing that you said earlier about accepting that we're human, also, and accepting that we do make mistakes and moving on from them. Everyone, again, it's like we're all on different stages of our development, and we're always developing. There's always room to grow, like all of us. So
We're all on a journey, right?
yeah, for sure.
To connect to what you said with reaching the full potential, I'm curious, what are what are signs for you that you see that someone is moving towards unfolding and reaching their full potential?
So I like to see people progressing over time. So I work with software engineers quite a lot. So one of the first questions I'll have, when I'm introducing myself is, what do you want? What do you want to happen? What are you working towards? And then I'll try and tailor goals, and I'll have that in my mind. And then if I see that somebody wants to go to a more senior position or wants to go to a management position, for me, I love getting people promoted. I really like helping them progress, getting the right goals, getting the right framework. I've got a lot of people into management positions. So for me, that's a win. If I can see people progressing, some people, not everybody wants to progress. Some people just want to learn, just want to do more technical stuff, or they might want to do more facilitation or something like that. It doesn't need to be a big move, but everybody wants to do something. They want to grow. So for me, that's a good indication, really, that they're reaching their potential.
And that's an interesting point. I think that this might be true for 90% in IT, that people want to grow and learn, but in different departments, this is certainly not true. Some people are like, no, I just here to do my job. And maybe we are too fast to assume that everyone wants to grow at this moment in time. No, maybe, no, I'm okay. I feel like I need a break. I don't want to read a new book. I don't want to listen to podcasts. I don't want to learn a new skill. I'm okay. How do you handle this if you have and also on your team who does not want to change, who does not want to learn?
Well, everybody's different. So yeah, somebody actually, I think this was the best advice that I've been given, actually. And somebody, he was a friend and somebody I worked with at Sainsbury's, and they told me everyone is different, everyone has something. So that person you're speaking of there, Sabrina, and it's true. We've all got our superpowers. So I had one person on the team, and let's just say they were the opposite of a self-starter. Let's be kind. So they needed a bit of help and guidance to make progress. And that was a challenge. As a line manager, that's a challenge. But what happened is I found that during refinement sessions, we were doing customer forms and things like this. And they would speak up and say, no one will be bothered to do that. That's far too difficult. I wouldn't do that. And that was their superpower, because no one else noticed this. We were all like, rah, rah, rah. This is the right way to do things. And it was fantastic feedback for us. So everybody's got something.
What is your superpower?
My superpower is, oh God, that's a difficult one, isn't it? My superpower, I think I just try and learn as much as I can. I retain knowledge. I think, yeah, I've always been able to retain knowledge. I'm not good with names, but I can retain knowledge and connect dots. And I can think, something happened the other day, and that's really relevant to this conversation. So I guess that's my superpower.
What about you, Mel? What's your superpower? You want to share?
I think my superpower is also maybe my weakness, and that's infinite patience. Whenever like people talk about me, or or they ask about me, if Kelsey's like meeting coworkers, they always say Mel's so patient. And I think that in some respects that's good, because I play the long game, and I'm not always like pushing, but then it can work against you if you're not. There's times when you need to be assertive, I guess is what I'm saying, right? There's times where you need to be a little impatient and challenge yourself and challenge the team to like get out of the comfort zone. And I'm happy to kind of sit in the exploration side of things and ideation, and then going to that bias for action is something I've had to learn how to do.
It's interesting, partner. I'm asking you what is your superpower, and you're telling me your the opportunity that you want to work on on your weakness. Well, let's take this into coaching, madam.
Well, very, very observant. Yeah. Yeah. For
So
sure.
let's move on, because sorry, Iain, great that you already picked up on the following question. On this was the advice. So the next one, and we are collecting to share, and then maybe we end up having the list of the same, as Mel called it, the formula for trust or whatnot. We'll see what we come up with that we can share with others. And this is, what are the core values that guide your leadership?
Yeah, so some of these we've talked about already, I think. And I think I'll share some of these values with you, Mel, as well, because I really the Agile manifesto and the values and principles really resonate with me, because progress over perfection, people over processes, bias to action. Those are some of my values as well. For me personally, I like to be proactive. I like to be honest as possible. As a manager, you can't always divulge everything that's going on, but I like to be honest and be tactful, minimize harm, and like I say, be consistent as well. Work wise, I really love prioritizing the customer and putting myself in their place. And I like to kind of think about things from the customer's point of view. Because I've worked with teams and we're doing a lot of software development and things like that. But also you need to be brave and try new things, because nobody actually knew they needed an Android or an iPhone until it appeared. Nobody was asking for that. So be willing to try new things and fail fast. Use data, to measure progress over time as well. One of my mentors once said that I dwell on mistakes and I was kind of overthinking. So what I do is kind of reflect and learn from things and then move on quickly. And this comes to kind of self-forgiveness, because otherwise, what I was finding is I kind of say something silly at an interview or a meeting or something, and then you kind of go over it, ruminate. So I really try to, not dwell on those things. And then I kind of ask my team, look, just forgive yourself, just practice self-forgiveness, and then just move on. And I guess having a growth mindset as well, just trying to learn love learning. If I'm in a meeting and someone says something, I love that. I don't know what that is. I love that. I just make a quick note. And then when I've got 5 minutes, I'll Google that and then find out, right, this is what they're talking about. And then I sometimes just need a little bit of knowledge about everything, so I know what people are talking about.
Yeah.
So I can contribute. So those are mine. I could probably go on all day, Sabrina, to be honest. But what about you?
I mean, we did have also authenticity. I heard that was a big one.
Yeah.
Integrity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks to Mama and Papa.
Yeah. And my parents taught me well.
Hmm?
My parents taught me well.
And you said, I'm curious about this the value of honesty, which is also very, I would say, controversial in organizations, where some find it, I need to be honest because it's my duty in business to be honest. And then others feel threatened or insulted. And I'm wondering, what does it mean to you, honesty? When you are being honest, what do you say? What do you share?
Well, this would be honesty about preparing people for change. So if I know there's challenges coming up, I sometimes can't say to people everything that I would like to. So it's about preparing people for change, to say, look, there are reasons for things, and you can let people know that there are going to be changes and they need to prepare themselves, and things might not always be the way they are, and you can prepare the ground for some difficult things later. I've learned people just don't like surprises. People like to kind of, if you jump into a meeting and you suddenly make a big announcement and change things, people hate that. They absolutely hate it. So yeah, be honest, but prepare the ground as well. And I think, yeah, if you're going to be honest to an individual, as I say, like we said earlier, it's about being tactful. It's about giving guidance and pointers, and the intention should be that you want them to be a strong performer, that you want them to learn and grow, not that you want to be nitpicking and critical, I guess.
Totally. You know what it makes me think of, Iain, when you were talking about honesty, just the thing that flashed into my head was, treat people like the adults that they are also. So often, I think leaders or managers like tiptoe around hard truths, and it actually is a disservice. It's like, the people on your team have mortgages, have children, got themselves to this point in their lives where they're working on a team with you. Like they are adults, they're not children. And like one of the things that just totally rubs me the wrong way is if I see a manager who's kind of talking about their team as if they were kindergartners or children. Like, we don't need to do that. And so that goes with respect. It's like honesty, empathy, respect, like that trio of things. It's just like being humane almost, right?
And clarity as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in one situation where the team was being disbanded, and a very senior leader delivered the message, and it was couched in business gobbledygook. Nobody knew what message was, and I had to go around to the team afterwards and say, did you understand what's happening? And they said, well, I think so. Can you clarify? So, and it shouldn't happen, but it does. People sometimes they're not spelling out things with the clarity that people can actually understand.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I agree on that. I thought the message came into my mind. We're all grown as people.
Yeah.
We can start treating each other like this, even if you're my boss, you're still just a person.
Exactly.
And we have 5 minutes left. Oh, it's such a beautiful conversation. Iain, I'm wondering, what is a question that you would like to put out there to Mel and me? And then we have one more question for you. And is there anything you would like to share with us? Maybe a question we can investigate also.
Okay. So yeah, I've got a question. So as a leader, what's the most difficult thing you've ever had to do?
So I take this one as a question also maybe for the next interview, most difficult thing. And then for us in our leadership roles, what is the most difficult? Because we are also leaders without being managers.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is an interesting way of leading. Mel, you want to go first?
The most difficult thing I've had to do is accept that I can't fix everything. I don't know if you want me to elaborate on that, but I think it goes with what you were saying before, Iain, about like ruminating and, just more and more it's okay to accept that we're at where we're at and that you can't fix everything at the same time and all at once. even though you want to, even though I want to. What about you, Sabrina?
That people are choosing to follow me. Anyway, so my role, they're choosing to collaborate with me, to think with me, to create with me. I cannot force anyone to do anything in the role that I'm in. And everything is voluntarily. And this is really something that is really whatever topic I'm touching, like now it's the culture that I'm completely obsessed with, the culture topic. It's really not about me. As much as I'm obsessed with this topic, is this really interesting for the people that I can help, that I can support in creating a better organizational structure? Or am I in love with the topic?
Yeah.
I can just take it outside of work.
100 million%. It's not about me. Totally. Love it.
Still not about me. Last question.
I'm sure it is sometimes. I'm sure it is sometimes.
You know what they say, like for us in our world, everything is about us.
Yeah, but no one thinks about you more than you, do they?
Yeah, we're the protagonists of our own stories.
100%. I'm the Kate Winslet of my Titanic. No one is dying here. Here we have the last question, and this is the question from the previous leader that we interviewed, which was Daniele Miele. He's a tech lead at Bonial, and he is asking you, what is your mission as a leader?
So my mission as a leader is to deliver for the company, to deliver for the team, and deliver for the individuals. So that's my mission. Those are what my goals are. When I'm crafting my goals, I always have a mix of those three things. So that's my mission.
Cool.
Love it.
Love it.
Matt, closing words to you.
I just want to thank you, Iain, for this conversation today. We could totally go longer.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it. It's just so refreshing to talk with you and hear your viewpoints, and I appreciate how much it resonates what you're saying with me. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for having me.
Cool.
It's been really good. It's gone so quick.